Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Anthony.
I'm Janelle Pizarro.
And I'm Frederick Philip Von Weiss. And thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology
that love what they do.
And do tech good.
We're doing tech. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are at DevFest, Florida 2019. We're here in Florida. Sunny Orlando, Florida.
Like a temporary resort where it's magic.
It is
Disney's
magic. Yeah, and we are so honored to be here. We're getting to talk to a lot of the attendees and a lot of the guests. And we're here joined with two very special guests that are presenting together, correct? Yep. Yes. We're with Emily Fortuna and Lara Martin. Woo. Welcome to the show. Yeah.
And this is our first double,
our first double of the day. Well, of the day. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, would you mind just telling our audience a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, so I am part of the Flutter team at Google, and we will both be giving a talk about Flutter, which is a mobile development for iOS and Android.
And I'm, in fact, an Android developer working in a very small company in Berlin, in Germany. So, yeah. I don't know.
And you learned Flutter
yes,
a year or so ago?
I started learning, I think it was summer, more or less, when I started with it.
Yeah. Well, this speaks well of, how easy it is to learn, because she's able to pick it up.
Or more speaks to how smart she is.
That too.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Yeah, exactly. Good point, yeah. So how did you both get together on this topic?
We met on Twitter.
That is the power of technology.
Wait, two people met about Flutter on Twitter.
Yep.
I love that.
The best
That's great.
in the world.
Yeah, basically, I am on Twitter, and I'm always checking out what people are saying about Flutter, and because I'm keen to build a community, and I just love connecting with people all over the world.
Sure.
And I also have a little list on Twitter. You can make lists.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a list that I call the Flutteristas of women and non-binary people that I do Flutter. And so Lara, I don't remember what you first tweeted about, but
yeah,
came on my timeline.
Yeah, I was trying out basically first things around playing with widgets and small screen, and I thought I'm gonna post it on Twitter because my followers are basically Android developers, and I was doing Flutter, but I was liking it, so I was like, I'm gonna post it and see what happens. And that's pretty much it. Somehow you saw it.
Yeah. And so I have this list, and I try and engage with people around the world. And so Lara and I got talking more, and I like to do talks with another person. And so when I got invited to this, I was like, not just me. Someone else that can join in. And I was like, hey, Lara, how would you like to go to Orlando?
Yeah, I remember I saw the announcement from the festival. Okay, please, someone bring me there.
Oh, I love this.
And I posted it on
Let's
Twitter.
make it happen.
And she said, let's talk. I was like, no.
Is this your first time then in the States, or have you been here before?
No, I've been here before for vacation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you from here?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not from Orlando, but I live in Seattle.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
from
right.
the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, is this your first time speaking?
Not really speaking. I've done some months ago a talk with my partner about sketchnoting on a conference too.
Nice.
Another DevFest.
Speaks about all sorts of things.
And well, that's one. And then a solo talk myself about relationship with between juniors and seniors developers.
That's a good one.
So that's pretty much my public speaking.
That's
right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. Sketch notes have been the theme of the day today, by the way. That's
really
super, everybody's talking about it. John Papa's been talking about it.
She's been making them at every talk. You should check out her Twitter.
That's literally what John Papa was talking about.
Okay.
It's just make all these sketch notes, and that's how I remember it. Get things done down fast, and I can easily go back and reference it. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
should both compare and then become best friends, and then
Oh,
like do your Twitter journey together. Like you and John Papa are just best friends forever, and that would be the most beautiful thing ever, right?
Should-
Like,
yeah.
Tell them your Twitter handle so people can look at it.
okay. It's called Lariki, which is Lariki.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll put a link in the show
Cute
notes.
pictures.
Yeah.
Great pictures.
Yeah.
It's just such
Yay.
beautiful handwriting.
Oh, awesome.
I'm so excited to completely just have my whole life with your entire like Twitter, everything in my Twitter. I'm so excited. I only follow tech things and dogs, so it's fine.
Oh, I love you then.
Yeah.
Yes, Lara has a thing for dogs,
Oh,
and
okay.
our talk is about dogs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm playing the Thunder Nerd so I can watch this.
Yes.
This is gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember replying to your tweet. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yes. Puppies.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're talking about specifically when it comes to Flutter?
Yeah, so a live coding session because so we're just giving like a little overview about what Flutter is because not everybody knows. But then more specifically, there are two things that this talk is highlighting. First one is we're going to show how to incorporate web views into Flutter. So step back. There's a bunch of different like cross-platform web mobile development experiences, and some of them like Cordova use web views out of the box. Flutter does not. It's compiling to like native ARM code. However, people occasionally ask, can I show a web page in my Flutter app? Because sometimes that's useful. And so that's something that's relatively new that Flutter just released, and so we're showing how to incorporate that in your Flutter app. And then the other thing is people are asking what people are asking first in an app. So like
Yeah,
you have
that's
your
a
UI and then like your business logic or whatever. And there's a couple of different, there's a number of different options for Flutter, and we're gonna show you how to use one in particular kind of through your app. It's called Scoped Model.
Do you mind if I just, for the people, and you said that people that don't know what Flutter is, do you mind if just like a brief description?
Sure. Sorry if I jumped the gun there.
No, not at all.
So Flutter is a way to write apps for iOS and Android with a single code base. So it can deploy on iOS and Android without you having to write specific Swift code or that sort of thing. And then it also, and two things, it's native code, so it's like ARM instructions, so it's super fast. It's not, you don't have to worry about performance issues for that. And then the other thing is like your, I lost my train of thought. So let's see, native code and what else was I going to say?
Do you want to jump
I
in?
wonder-
Yeah.
I wonder also.
I wonder
You were going to
if so a quick question, I guess, to
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like put you
Sure.
back on track. So what's the like main language that you use with
Yeah, yeah,
Flutter?
yeah.
Is it like JavaScript or Java or?
So it's Dart, which is less commonly known than say JavaScript, for example. Although it is, so it was Dart was originally designed to be a web programming language. It's very Java. So if you know either of those two, it should be easy to pick up. And actually, Lara can tell you since she did it not so long ago.
Oh,
I mean, it's very easy if you have done Java before. I don't know about JavaScript though. I've done just a little bit, so I cannot say. But if you know Java, you can read Dart directly. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. One thing I like to say is when I started working on Dart and Flutter, I obviously didn't know Dart, but I knew Java. And so like you can write Dart like Java and it will run. Of course, you can do better than that. But like if you want to learn nothing, you can get by until you like are ready to start learning more. So it's pretty easy to pick up.
nifty.
Yeah.
So I asked, I'm first time in the last episode, how much prep work has this taken? I mean, you've built a whole app. I think a lot of people don't realize the amount of work and effort it goes into making a presentation,
Yeah.
going on stage, building all the materials. Can you give a little like behind the scenes look at that? Well,
How
she
many
put that
hours?
question on you. I just
Oh,
thought.
no, I can-
no,
I'm just kidding.
I'm happy to
it's
answer.
fine.
Just want, if you want to.
We talked a lot about which kind of app we wanted to make, and also which kind of things we wanted to show, because there was also Flutter Live in December, so we had to wait until they presented things also.
Yeah, so just
to
a little
see-
context on Flutter Live. That's we had this event early December where Flutter just went 1.0.
Oh, okay. So they
and-
announced a bunch of
Yeah. And so I was pretty wrapped up into that because I was presenting for that. So we submitted for DevFest Florida and we knew we were accepted, but like I was like, I can't do this right now. So it was only until afterwards, and of course the holidays and all that. But yeah, we were talking. What? Sorry, and I cut you off. Please.
So basically, we were interacting a lot about what should we do, which kind of app. So that's the tough part, I think. Then having the idea already made it everything easy. Basically, we built the project itself, and then around the project, we figure out how to explain things to the audience, what to type, what not to type during the live coding session. So that's a lot of work in the end, because that also counts rehearsals. We had a lot. Yeah.
Well, especially, I mean, we were remote, so I'm in Seattle and Lara's in Berlin, and so like basically every morning I would wake up and like rehearse with Lara as she's like the end of her day.
Yeah.
And we would chat over
every day.
But going back to the app itself, I think one thing was an interesting discovery for me over the process of doing these sorts of live coding sessions is live coding for presentations is different than live coding or coding. Because as Lara was mentioning, like you want to highlight the things that are to teach the audience. But you also, there's no point in them seeing you type like const blah blah blah, like a bunch of boilerplate. But you want to find the parts that are illustrative of what you want to talk about. And so sometimes there's a lot of refactoring that you might not have done if it was just a regular app.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's fair.
So there's like, it's not just enough to write the app. You have to like practice talking through it and then refactor.
Yeah, simplify it down to what the core needs are. For
Exactly.
the presentation. Yeah.
There's a lot of work, I imagine, that goes into that.
Yeah, and I mean, I would argue maybe in a way it's getting the app to a point where ideally any app would be, because like it's probably more readable in this way.
Yeah.
But like in practice, no one writes software that way. They're like, all right, it's done. Next.
I wonder if like another really good talk, or maybe even a blog post mixed with some sketch notes, could be done like on this, right? Like how to not only like work with another person like on a live, coding kind of thing and teaching others, but maybe also like how much effort it takes to like completely refactor until like your code is readable by literally anybody over the age of 7, right? Like that would be pretty interesting. It would be an amazing talk or blog post that I would read and share to everybody in the world. I mean, I don't know.
So you're going to be doing it?
What?
Stay tuned for that from Janelle.
Next DevFest, we'll have a fantastic presentation.
I hope you're ready for her talk.
You heard it here first.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like a commitment to me.
No.
What would you say is the one of the biggest values of this technology that people might not be aware of yet?
Ooh. So you want to go?
No, I was thinking also how to explain this. Maybe.
So I think a couple things. The biggest thing that makes me so excited about Flutter is surprisingly not the fact that you can deploy to iOS and Android just with code on its own. It's actually more the development process is really fun. And the reason I say that is like we'll do this in our talk, and so it's better seen rather than explained. But there's this feature in Flutter called Hot Reload, and it's not just hot reload. It's stateful hot reload. So like it preserves the state of your app. So basically, so you're coding
not kicked
along.
out the login all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're coding along. You're like, I want to add a new button, and it just like hit save, and like within a second, it pops up, and you're like, all right, next, I want to add a text field, and then because it's stateful, also like you could be on another screen and editing that. You can like have entered data, and it will save it. And it makes development so fun. Like I really look forward. Like there's
Done.
yeah.
We're all quitting front end development, and we're gonna just completely do.
I can't wait to hear your talk about this.
Oh
next
my
year
gosh!
at
I'm
DevFest
gonna fight everybody in this room.
We'll let them know that we're going to do this. Yeah.
You got your sketch pad too.
Stay tuned.
I remember, I can't remember if it was a Flutter Live event or if it was material theme being used with Flutter, and thinking how I saw the hot reload and preserving the state. And it was just awesome to see like changing the material theme and updating it and adding the corners on the buttons and just having it live update and not out. Yeah, it's really awesome and incredible for sure.
Yeah, it's just like keeping you in the of coding, because inevitably, like I don't know, I've worked at one point I was working with Chrome development, and like on a really fast computer that we have from Google that had like a ton of RAM and everything, it would still take like 15 minutes to build. And so you'd like make a change, and you're like, all right, you know what's happening on
Make a sandwich.
And then you come back and you're like, oh, what was I testing? and it's just such a refreshing change from.
You just described my day-to-day.
Yeah.
I just made a sandwich. Why?
That's amazing.
Why do I have 15 sandwiches?
So many sandwiches. So
Baloney. Yeah, it's amazing how far this stuff keeps progressing, and how it's just getting so much more of a pleasure to do this.
Absolutely.
They used to push a button, 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
My
Let me
code's
grab a
compiling.
coffee. Let me make 5 sandwiches.
And then you come back and you're like, oh, it's still not lined up.
Yeah, exactly. Now wait another 15 minutes.
Yeah,
The depression on that.
right?
Sad
That is so
day.
real. I know, girl.
You should incorporate that in your talk.
How did?
Like what?
Oh my god!
Oh no! Oh no!
How did you both get into development?
Break.
So I studied computer science in school, but the reason actually was I was interested in a whole bunch of different things, and like I was one of those weird people that took like organic chemistry for fun to like see if I wanted to do.
Heck yeah! High five.
So I was like, I want to do all these things. I don't want to limit myself. I'm a multifaceted person. I am not just a computer person. But actually, the reason I decided to study computers is like you can apply it to like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was a way to stay versatile in any field. It's like, oh, if I still want to do chemistry, I can do that.
Yeah.
So that's really what originally got me into it. And then it's just, I love creating tools that can help people and connect them in different ways. And technology is so well suited for that. So
absolutely.
And it really, for me, it feels like your imagination is the limit. Whereas, I don't know, like, you're a mechanical engineer, still dealing with gravity.
For now.
Yes.
So that's how I got it.
Awesome.
So I didn't study computer science. I did biology at university.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I finished my degree and I didn't know what to do with my life because there are no jobs for that. And we happened to move to Germany, my husband and me. He is a software developer. He was working in a company, and we were there alone. So one day I thought, okay, I want to learn what husband's job.
Nice.
I want to see, and I didn't understand anything, so that was fun. But I took some online courses, and I found it fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, and try on and error, like some years in and out. I ended up finding Android, learning Android online, and basically this way I jumped to the Android role
Oh my gosh.
while learning.
It was
I love
self-taught story.
That is
Success story.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how like both of you came from like empathy. Like that's almost like where you guys like grew like together almost. Like your story comes from like I want to do everything and like be amazing and like what if I like get bored in 20 years? Like I want to do other stuff, right? And like world almost. Yours is the same. Like I just want to learn what my husband does. Like I want to not be like hey, excuse me, sir. We were supposed to go on a date like 20 minutes ago, but your code is still compiling. like that's amazing. That's so cool. So I love that you both came from that. Like makes me really happy. Sorry, everything's very happy. I'm like,
Glad to hear it. As will be your talk.
sorry. Everyone.
2020. So how can people learn about you guys? Where do they go? You got some websites, you got some projects you want people to know about?
Yeah, so I think the best way to contact me is on Twitter.
Okay.
I am at Bouncing Sheep.
That's the earrings.
Yeah.
For audio listeners, these are the coolest sheep earrings I've ever seen.
They're super puffy.
Love the name, Bouncing Sheep.
Yes. And that actually the name came out of I was doodling in a computer science class. Before sketchnoting was a thing, or at least I didn't know about it. But and maybe I don't actually sketch notes, so Lara can fill me in. But like the way I would take notes, and but I like anything that popped into my head, like if it made no sense whatsoever, I would like draw it next to it, and there was like some sort of subconscious connections I think that would like help me remember it better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I don't actually remember what they were talking about, but somehow like I drew a little sheep one day, and then like I had the little like the sort of up and down like curved bounce little dots behind it, and I thought it was like the most hilarious thing possible. And then it just kind of grew a life unto its own, and I was like, I must have the Twitter handle before anyone else takes it, because everyone thinks of Bouncing Sheep. But yeah, so that's the main place. And I also am an actor, so I have emilyfortuna.com, and you can like contact me. There's like a form there. But if you go there and you're like, is this the computer scientist? It is, but it's not really geared towards that stuff. So
I don't have earrings or anything related. My Twitter handle is Lariki. That's basically the way my friends were calling me when I was young,
no.
which I didn't like.
Oh.
But at some point
You grew into it.
I realized,
You're gonna own
well,
it.
Yes.
they like me, and I just took it as my handle.
Also, you have an
Or
epic like enamel pin collection.
Yes.
You don't have earrings, but you've got like
MML pins
and
and
like
stickers.
when I like finally met her in person yesterday, she gave me this little rainbow enamel
Yes.
pin.
Aw.
She's got like Totoro and
Yeah.
everything.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
She decorates in other ways.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Everybody in here needs to be best friends. It's amazing. Like, I can't even right now.
You
Oh
guys
my
got
god,
anything else?
yes.
I will get you one.
You just made Janelle's day.
Yes. Only if she doesn't talk.
What she's doing at DevFest 2020. Remember.
You know what? Funny enough, I actually do have to build it. We'll talk about that another time.
She's
At DevFest 2020.
Could be in Flutter.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
And yeah. Thanks everybody for
See you next
watching.
one.
Yeah.
Toodles!